VOA News. I'm Christopher Cruz reporting. China summoned the U.S. ambassador in Beijing on Sunday to launch a, quote, strong protest over the arrest of a Chinese technology executive in Canada and the American demand that she be extradited to the United States to stand trial on fraud charges. China called the arrest of Meng Wanzhou, the telecom giant Huawei Technologies chief financial officer, extremely bad. It demanded the U.S. cancel its extradition request linked to allegations that she broke American laws prohibiting trade with Iran. French President Emmanuel Macron will address the nation on Monday in response to the so-called Yellow Vest protesters who held massive demonstrations across the country for the past 4 weekends. Before the speech, Macron plans to meet with union officials, local lawmakers, and business leaders for talks on formulating a response to the sometimes violent protests that have rocked the country during the holiday season. A British man who was exposed to the deadly nerve agent Novichok says he is struggling with his eyesight and mobility and fears the poison will kill him within a decade. Associated Press correspondent Zaria Shackley reports.
Charlie Rowley, who's 45 years old, fell ill in June near Salisbury, England, after coming into contact with a nerve agent that was used months earlier to attack former Russian spy Sergei Skripal and his daughter. Rowley, Skripal and his daughter survived, but Rowley's partner Dawn Sturgis, who's also exposed, died in the hospital. Rowley told the Sunday Mirror newspaper that he was back in the hospital for treatment because he was going blind and unable to use one arm.
The U.S. military on Sunday says it killed 4 members of the al-Shabaab extremist group with a self-defense airstrike outside Somalia's capital on Saturday. This is VOA News. A spokesman for Yemen's Houthi rebels said they may be open to more talks with the rival government if current peace negotiations in Sweden go well. Some of the issues being negotiated at the UN-brokered talks are a prisoner swap and the reopening of the Sana'a airport. President Trump says his top aide, Chief of Staff John Kelly, will be leaving at the end of the year. Associated Press correspondent Ben Thomas reports.
When John Kelly took the job as Chief of Staff a year and a half ago, President Trump made this prediction.
General Kelly will go down in terms of the position of Chief of Staff, one of the great ever.
He had early success, credited with imposing order on a chaotic West Wing after his arrival in June 2017. That included ending an open-door policy to the Oval Office. House Speaker Paul Ryan calls Kelly a force for order, clarity, and good sense. But Kelly's iron fist alienated some longtime Trump allies, and he grew increasingly isolated, with an increasingly diminished role. As for the president, however, he still describes Kelly this way.
He's a great guy.
No official word yet on a successor, but Vice President Mike Pence's Chief of Staff, Nick Ayers, is reportedly Trump's top choice to replace Kelly.
I'll be announcing that over the next day or two.
A key U.S. lawmaker said Sunday that Democrats in the House of Representatives could pursue impeachment proceedings against President Trump. Congressman Gerald Nadler, a New York Democrat who will become chairman of the House Judiciary Committee when Democrats take control of the chamber next month, told CNN that Trump had surrounded himself with crooks and was part of a broad conspiracy against the American people to win the 2016 election. He said lawmakers have to decide how important allegations are against Trump, but should pursue impeachment charges only for what he called serious offenses. Nadler spoke 2 days after federal prosecutors accused former Trump lawyer Michael Cohen, in coordination with and at the direction of Trump, of orchestrating payments of $280,000 in hush money shortly before the 2016 election to 2 women who alleged they had affairs with Trump so they would stay silent before Election Day. An enormous early winter storm is clobbering the southern U.S. with snow, ice, and strong winds. More than 20 million people from Virginia to Georgia and west to parts of Mississippi are under storm warnings and watches. Virginia and North Carolina are under states of emergency. More than 500,000 people are without power, and more than 1,000 flights in and out of the busy Charlotte Douglas Airport in North Carolina have been canceled. You can find more on these and other late-breaking and developing stories from around the world around the clock at voanews.com and on the VOA News mobile app. I'm Christopher Cruz. VOA News.